On this episode of Just So You Know Moment with a Twist, we have the beautiful and talented Queen P, Miss Pauline Atkinson with QueenPoetry.com.
This is Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so you know. Moments with a twist. Oh, talk show host, speaker, life and success strategist, author. Oh yeah. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Just so you know, moments with a twist. Are you ready?
This Just So You Know moment is brought to you by Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean, Jackson Dean Investments, and JDI Multimedia Network. Just so you know, Dr. Jackson Dean, the TV talk show queen, the Pen Slayer, and multiple national, international best-selling author, and multinational, international empowerment speaker, says, I am a talk show host, a speaker, life and success strategist, and an author. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Welcome to Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. I am your host, Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean. First, and as always, I always have to give honor and praises, thanks to God. So many doubt him due to our current climate and current situations that we have going on. But you can't make me doubt him because I know too much about him. He is still in the blessing and the healing business, and I thank God for that. So, on this episode of Just So You Know Moment with a Twist, we have the beautiful and talented Queen P, Miss Pauline Atkinson with QueenPoetry.com. Everybody, please make Miss Pauline feel welcome today. Hello, Miss Pauline. How are you?
Hello. Thanks for the lovely welcome. It's
Absolutely.
a pleasure to be here with you.
Absolutely. Well deserved.
Thank you.
So please tell our audience, tell the world, all of our global, international, and national audience out there, tell them exactly who is Miss Pauline Atkinson.
All right. Well, my name is Pauline Atkinson. My pen name is Queen P. So whenever you read my books, you'll see Queen P. Okay. But I was born and raised in New York, born in Brooklyn, and then the family made their way to Long Island. We are of Caribbean descent, and actually my mother's side is from the Virgin Islands, and my dad's side is from Barbados. So I kind of tend to gear more towards the Bayesian side of me because that's more. I shouldn't say. I was going to say more cultural because Virgin Islands is kind of like United States. You know what I mean? So I got the Bayesian in me, but nonetheless. So yeah, we moved to Long Island, and that's where I reside now with my family. And I graduated from college in Long Island, New York Institute of Technology, where I studied communication arts. And broadcasting was my specialty, actually radio broadcasting. So it all kinds of ties into, what I'm doing today. And I've always written as a child, because I'm the youngest of 4 kids. And being that I was the youngest, nobody paid any attention to me. So I had a lot of time to spend by myself in my room. So I did a lot of writing and poetry, plays, that kind of thing. But it was nothing ever that I wanted to share with the world, but it was just something that I did for myself. So that's a little bit about me. But I also worked in the live as an adult. I've worked in the live music entertainment industry all my adult life. So I've done that as well.
Wow, how interesting. And I've heard different people say, I like to write, but I want to write for myself. And
Mhm.
then one day they decide that, oh, should I become a published author? And how I describe writing for yourself versus a published author is when you're writing for yourself, only you see that and only you feel that. And so it what
Mhm.
you write because you're your only audience. But when you become a published author, you have to look at it like you just bared your whole soul, regardless of what you write. It could be you writing about something completely other than yourself. But when you become a published author, it's like you bare your whole soul because now you have opened your audience up to everybody in the world or anybody that gets your book. And now you have the judgment, and we all hate that word,
Yes.
judgment, but that's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
The judgment from everybody about your writing and about your style of writing. And you're placed on this measuring tool against everybody else or certain people. Well, she doesn't write like this or she don't write the like. But let me assure all you writers out there and all you people who want to become published writers, you don't have to write like anybody else. You don't have to be anybody else. All you have to do is be yourself. But
Yeah.
even with that, you have to be willing to accept the judgment that comes along with it because there will be judgment, there will be opinions. But guess what? They're like everything else that everybody else has, okay? Y'all feel blank in on that, all right? So,
But you're right. You're right with that, because but I never thought to even do it. Like it never crossed my mind to take it up as a profession. It was just I wanted to do radio broadcasting, something in the entertainment field. Just this was just like a side gig for myself,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
my winding down type of thing. So, but yeah,
What
but I. Mhm.
some people look at writing as being cathartic. And so when it's cathartic, if that's the type of therapy that you use, then that's for you. It
Right,
won't work for everyone, but
right.
it does work for certain people. But I understand what you're saying with it being a part of the media and the radio and everything. All of that is media,
Yeah,
and that's what I say. JDI Multimedia Network. That's what that means. That means writing, television, radio, movies, document. That's what media is.
hmm
And so you got the right degree with that. With the
yeah. Without even knowing, right?
yeah, kudos on you. So tell us a little more about yourself.
But I do a lot of meditating. That's like on the forefront of who I am now. I'm a person that's really into defining peace, finding my peace, I should say, and
Mm-hmm.
just being at one with myself. I'm spending a lot of time with me. So I'm getting to find out who I am.
It's
If
your me time.
this is yeah, this is who I am. I'm trying to figure me out now. So I'm on a journey searching for me, figuring it all out and trying to put all the pieces together.
Well, congratulations on stepping into that journey because we all eventually get there. We've been everything to everyone. We finally get a chance to come to the point where it's just me. Now, who do I want to be for me? And I can't wait to get there. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to get to that journey.
it's good. And I'm also at a point now where I don't really care about what anybody thinks anymore.
Woo, I've been there.
This is And when you get there, it's not even going to worry you anymore. It's because I can't live my life like that. Worrying about, well, if I say this, well, how's this one gonna? I can't do that anymore. Yeah. So this is where I'm at. But I love doing I love working out. I love exercising. That's big on my list. I've changed my diet. I'm not eating all the kind of crazy things like I used to eat. So it's all about being healthy and just being in tune with who I am. Yeah.
That's good. I'm sure your culture plays a big part in what you eat and everything. And so.
Yeah. Yes, because in the Caribbean, you think about. I didn't grow up in Barbados at all. I grew up here, but just listening to my father talk about the stories when he'll say something like, when I was your age, I had to walk to school barefoot, and for 20 miles to get to school. But as far as eating, there were a lot of kids. We would pick a mango from the tree. They ate a lot of earth food. You know what I mean? Just natural, good stuff, and that reflects, I guess, who I am now, as far as what I'm eating, what I'm intaking. I mean, don't get me wrong. Now we have our little comfort foods because I love fish cakes. Fish cakes. That's it.
What?
Fish cake.
What? Fish cake. What the heck is fish cake?
It's not like the fish cakes. They're delicious.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me. Okay.
See, you Americans.
Wrap my mind around this. Fish cake. Yeah. My visualization of fish cake is a birthday cake with a fish jumping up out of it. What the heck is? You got to tell us what is fish cake.
You can't be further from the truth. No, actually, fish cakes is more of an appetizer. And it's salt fish that you get packaged, and and you lay it out and you let it soak, okay. And once it's you're ready to just pick it apart and you put it in, like a dough. You have your flour and onions and scallions and peppers and all that stuff. Put it in, blend it up, and you deep fry it. And let me tell you, it's absolutely delicious. It's an appetizer, like I said, but it's absolutely delicious. So no, you're not gonna put a candle on it and blow it out. it's a pop and go, But it's really, really good. So I love those. I love the fish cakes, and we eat a lot of fish, flying fish. Yes, that flying fish that we eat. You see it flying out of the water
and flying up through the cake.
Yes. But it does exist, and that's a delicacy there, flying fish as well. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for explaining that to at least me, because I was really taken aback with that when you said fish cake. But I guess we have crab cake, so
exactly. Yeah. See,
you just threw me when you said fish cake. So I don't know. Maybe my mind was just on cake.
Yes. No, it's not like that at all. But that's funny. That is very funny. I'll have to tell my dad about that.
Great. So Miss QueenP. So Miss Pauline Atkinson, QueenP,
yes,
is one of the co-authors for the book, The Pivot Anthology, where I was the primary author of. And I just would like to know, tell us some more about the Pivot Anthology and your thoughts, and just give us your thoughts.
Well, I believe I mentioned this to you in the beginning of this process, that it was one of the most scariest things that I had done in a while, because, I write poems, and the poems aren't that long. It's just a couple of lines, and I'm good with that. But when I took on this challenge, and I took the challenge on only because I needed to challenge myself. I was so afraid. My heart was racing, and I just talked to you about stepping out on faith and not being afraid. But yet, there I was. But it was something about you and just how you managed all of us. You know, there's 20 of, well, 19 plus you, but there's 20 of us. You just put down everything that needed to be done. You let us know that I'm here for you. Don't be afraid. I think you might have told me, girl, just do it. And you really just laid everything down in such a way that it made it easy to do the project. Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't an easy task. You know, I really have to sit down because it's harder for me because it's not what I do, you know, in this capacity. But yet you put us all at ease, or you put me at ease. So I'm grateful to you for that. And you never once, and I know I had questions going, and you always answered the questions, and you just really, you did a fabulous job with getting this whole book together. You know, getting us all together collectively as a group. There were no egos, you know, we all had a job to do. You ensured that it got done, and it did. And we came out with a bestseller book. So kudos to you, you know. It was an interesting experience, but a good one.
So I'm glad that you allowed me to coach you in enriching your media profession by adding the ability to write stories or write your story and put it into an anthology. So yeah. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you. I tell you, it really helped me just even learning the process of how you do things. So it was a fabulous experience. It really truly was.
These authors showed their own pivot in a climate that seemed like nobody was able to be successful, or they were having challenges during this time. But they took this time to pivot into a different direction of showing how they could keep their business going. And a lot of the stories, some of those were not stories from now, but they were stories where they pivoted along the way in order to become the person that they are today. And so if you haven't already, go out there and get your book, The Pivot Anthology. You can find that book. There it is right there. Isn't she a beauty? She a beauty. Put it back up there. Girl, that's a beautiful book right there. That's a beautiful book. And so if you haven't already, go to www.drlashandajacksondean.com/shop and get your autographed book today. You can also speak with Miss Pauline Atkinson. You can contact her and get your autographed book from her as well. What's your website?
The website is QueenPpoetry.com.
QueenPpoetry.com. Yes. Tell us about your business, Queen Poetry.
Yes, well, QueenP as my pen name, and I since got out of my comfort zone, and I started to write, especially during COVID time. That kind of really got me going. But a little prior to that, as I told you, when I was searching for who I am, searching myself and my legacy, I realized that something was missing in my life, and I didn't know quite what it was. Kids got older, and I started to search, about me and my legacy. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
And when I took that time to really get into the meditation and all of that, it was like the heavens opened up and hit me on the head and said, you need to be writing your poems. That's the only reason why I did it, because I told you I really had no desire to do this publicly.
Right.
But it hit me and said, this is what you needed to do. So in April of 2019, I just started putting it out on social media. And I did get a nice feedback. from my poems, and then I was suggested that I should start writing a book, which again, I didn't know what I was doing, but everything just flowed. So I felt that, when you know what your purpose is, when things just flow. Absolutely. So I realized that this had to be my purpose because everything was just moving so smoothly. So my first book came out in November of 2019 when the Mood is Right, A Poetry Journey. Mm-hmm. And this book basically starts my journey. It's a spiritual guide about life and experiences and all of that, but it's a part of my journey. And that's book one.
Well, I have to say, I thoroughly enjoy reading your poetry. Her poetry is so beautiful, and it's the type of poetry that I know that you're writing from your own perspective, but it's almost like it's written just for me or just for the person who's reading it. Because when I read it, I can reflect on the things that I've done, the things that are going through my mind, and it kind of like relates to me. And so I feel so pulled into your poetry. You just that good, girl.
Thank you. And it's funny you say that because I hear that from mainly women, but it comes from the inside. It's my inner self, and it's pouring the inner self out. And I guess as women, because that's who I am, they can relate more because it's just what we've gone through, So when I say life experiences, it's not just me. You can relate because you've been there, or you're going to get there, Mm-hmm. So it's very relatable, very, very relatable.
Or you've been through something so similar that you can resonate with the words that you're saying. Mm-hmm. And I just love to see your poetry and to read your poetry. And, I find myself that are different things that I'm on. And anytime they mention poetry, I say, "Ooh, let me put in Pauline name." So
see what she posted today.
Yes. And see what, how she could connect. I'm always trying to connect you with different people. But
thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. So just speaking about When the Mood is Right. Again, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of my journey, searching for peace. And with this, and I'm hoping that in this book that it really inspires and uplifts and motivates. I've dedicated this book to my mother because I don't think I did mention this to you. My mom, Pat, and this is probably another reason why I write the way I do, because my mom passed away when I was only 17. Oh, wow. And my mom was young, she was only 50. And she's been gone now for decades. Mm-hmm. And ever since her death, I realized, or I noticed myself that I just was not like everybody in school or what. I was just not, I don't know who I was, mm-hmm. But I just didn't fit in any category with anybody. I never was part of any, other than sports. I didn't click. I wasn't that clicking type of person, But I really believe that her spirit is with me, especially when I do this work, because she was a very intelligent woman. Extremely, I don't know where I came from, but she's a very intelligent woman. And I think that a lot of her is in my writing.
That's beautiful that you made that dedication to your mother, and my condolences for that. Oh. I know I have to think that would be really hard on a young lady at 17 years old to lose her mother.
And I'm the youngest, and I was very clingy to her. So yes, but thank you.
Wow, my heart goes out to you. But I'm happy to hear that you acknowledge that her spirit was still with you and she has guided you, even though she wasn't here physically. She's been there with you spiritually.
Yes.
That's
I believe that.
So about your books, I know your theme is like the mood, right?
Yeah.
You get us in the mood. And so you have, with your poems, there's so many different moods. And, and we're, like I said, I'm a multifaceted person. We all are multifaceted people. And so we have different moods. And you have a poem for each one of these moods. And that's what I love so much, If I'm in this mood, I can read this poem. If I'm in that mood, I can read this poem.
Exactly.
And with all of these different moods, they still end up being a part of me, one person, but with all these different types of moods. And so, good going on the theme of mood. And your first book is the mood swing, when the mood is right.
Right.
And then book number 2 is mood swing.
Broke it up into 4 chapters. And motivation and inspiration. So that chapter 1. So we're trying to get you motivated, but it's basically really about, because I'm new. I've always been hiding behind the shadows. I never wanted to step out. That's actually one of the titles of the poem, Hiding Behind the Shadows. Always wanting to not to step out on faith. I just was too afraid to step out and be me. I just couldn't do it. So I'm trying to motivate you, to get you to the point where you're comfortable with yourself. All right. So the first chapter is motivation and inspiration. The second chapter talks about universal feelings, because we all have these feelings, and these are the feelings that get you caught up with deciding what I should do, how I should do this. What, who am I? What am I doing? So that's chapter 2, just about feelings. Chapter 3 speaks of love, the power of love. But the love that I'm referring to is not the generic. It's more of the inside of your soul, the love from within, and how you love a person. And then the 4th chapter is my dedication to my mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's just the beginning of the journey. You can't say too much more because you have to read it.
Absolutely. And trust me, I don't want you to give it all away, because we want to just provide them a little teaser.
Right. Exactly.
A teaser, and to get them out there to go ahead and get it. And trust me, it is well worth it. Thank you so much, Miss Pauline Atkinson, QueenP, for being a wonderful guest and being the best part of Just So You Know Moment with a Twist TV talk show. Well, let's do our Princess Way to our audience. To learn more about Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean and the books and the services that I offer, visit me online at www.drlashandajacksondean.com/shop. Please join us the next time for another episode of Just So You Know Moment with a Twist TV talk show. Bye-bye. Bye.
This is Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so